and this is our first lunchtime yoga flow. Wonderful. So just checking out all the little kinks in streaming today. Everything seems to be going well. If you want to say hi, please feel free to leave a comment, or if you have any requests. And my thought today is that we will use a block or a towel folded out, a blanket, and we'll be starting laying down here in a moment or two. And there's a couple different ways that you can set this up for yourself. The idea is to create a little lift across your shoulder blades as you're laying down. So you could do this by folding up a blanket or a towel, like so, just getting it a little thicker. I'll go ahead and demo that. Setting the block aside because I won't need that in this moment. Setting that down and then putting your back toward it, and here lowering back on this and having your armpits just over the top of it so that you can open your arms out and your head will tip back down to the floor here. And if it feels too high or too tight or anything like that, you can unfold that blanket a little bit and lower a little more down to the floor. So from here you could slide your legs long, or you could keep your knees bent, or if you want, you could even bring the bottoms of your feet together and let the knees tip open. So starting with a little bit of a hip opening as well. And if you've been sitting at a desk like I have this morning, this might feel just right. And if for any reason having that little lift across your shoulder blades doesn't support you right now, just come down onto your back and have that blanket under your head or under your neck for a little support. Now, if you happen to have a block and want to try that, you could use it on its lowest setting or maybe tipping it up to that middle setting. Same thing, it'll go across the shoulder blades. And then if you have a blanket or towel, you can have that under your head. And there's just a little bit more lift here. So we start here. Wherever you are, whether you're flat on your back or have a prop or two, making any adjustments as needed. I needed to lower my block. It was just a little too high for me right now. And just land here in this moment. Start to create a sanctuary in your space wherever you are. Be and breathe. Here, now, in this. Noticing how this pose feels in this moment, where you notice the hold, the stretch. Perhaps what other sensations do you notice? For example, my belly just rumbled, and I know that in time it'll be time to nourish myself with a little lunchtime. We have some fresh veggies today from Rose Gardens, our CSA. I can't wait to dig into those. So notice what you're thinking about. What's on your mind? We don't have to judge any of these things on our minds. Just acknowledging them as a part of where you are right here and now. And then just for now, see if you can shift your focus to breathing. Letting the thoughts become a little more distant from you so that you're not diving in. Feel your breath. And it be a little softer, smoother. Just for now, a little bit longer than your natural rhythm. You might set an intention for your practice today, something to support yourself, not only right here, right now, but what might support you in the rest of your day or week. Maybe an image comes up, or a word or phrase, or maybe just contemplating the question. Now, in the next breath or two, we're going to make our way off of any props. You can tip over to your side, slide the blankets or blocks aside, coming down flat onto your back. And then take the feet wide. You can keep your arms open to a T and float the knees from side to side. Notice how your shoulder blades feel now. Come back to center and hug your knees in towards your heart. Maybe wrap your arms around the fronts or backs of the legs. Add a little rocking if it feels good. And then the next breath or two, we're going to make our way to hands and knees. You can do so however you like. You can come with me, bringing the hands to the backs of the legs and start to rock up and down the length of the spine until you build up enough momentum to come all the way up to seated. Good. Now from here, make your way to hands and knees. And take your knees wide, let your toes come toward one another and sink your hips towards your heels. They don't need to touch. And then lower your heart toward the floor and forehead either to your block, or you might stack your hands here and rest your forehead there, or maybe all the way down to your mat. Check in with what would feel supportive for you in this moment. And come back to your breath. A little softer, a little smoother, and just a little bit longer than the natural rhythm. When you're ready, rise up to hands and knees, bringing the knees back and under the hips. Take your hands ahead of your shoulders and start to circle the hips round and round. One way and then the other way. So breathing here is softer and smoother. And then find center and bring your left leg forward up between your hands. You might bring a hand to the back of the leg. And then slowly bring your hands to that leg, rising up. Maybe reach one arm to the sky and then the other. Breathing here with an exhale, cactus arms. So elbows straight out from your shoulders, and maybe think of squeezing your shoulders back here. And then slowly bring your arms towards one another in front of you. Inhale, open back up. Exhale, toward. One more, opening up. Then reaching up for the sky again. As you exhale, bring the hands all the way down to the mat, plugging your inside hand against the mat and reaching the same side hand as the leg forward toward the sky. So turning toward your leg that's in front. Good. And then slowly heel toe that foot all the way to the back of your mat. Reach through the pinky toe edge, straighten that leg, and reach through your top arm. Good. Your top arm, send it up and overhead, and then back up to the sky. And then maybe straight out in front of you and start to circle it up and around. You can bend the elbows much as what feels good. Maybe swoop that arm and reach behind you almost, and then back up to the sky. So sending it under the other arm, reaching back up. Good. Now, if you have that block nearby, bringing it into play here. Bring your top arm to that block, and then bring your other arm to that block, and slowly turning. We're kneeling on one knee. We have the other leg extended. Slide the hand down that extended leg and reach your other arm up and over, so stretching the side of your body. Breathe in here. So if you're on your left side, you have your right arm up and over. If you're doing your right side, your right leg out to the side, your left arm's reaching up and over here. And slowly rise up, reach both arms out to a T, and turn whichever way you turn. Reaching one arm forward, one arm back. Inhale back to center. Now go the other way. Reach to those fingers. Inhale back to center. Bring the hands down to the block. And then slowly come back to a tabletop. Hands and knees. Take some cats and cows now. Arching your back up toward the sky. Curling your head under and your tail. And then reversing this. Think of sending the front side of your body down as you lift your tail, lift your head. Several more times. Then finding that neutral position. And we'll do the opposite leg this time. So if you did the left leg last time, you'll do the right leg this time, stepping it up and through. Rising on up, take your time. Hands can come to the leg, then reaching one arm up, and then the other. Bend the elbows, open arms out to the sides, elbows out from the shoulders here, cactus arms. Inhale to reach. Exhales back into the cactus. Squeezing the shoulders back, reaching up one more time. Exhale into that cactus. Reach up to the sky and slowly bring the hands down to the mat, planting the left hand into the earth here and reaching the right hand to the sky. Whichever direction you're going, you're turning toward your front leg here and lifting the same side arm toward the sky. Good, and then slowly heel toe that front leg toward the back of the mat, letting it extend long. Reach to the pinky toe edge of it, lifting up through your top hip. Reach to that top arm, and then reach it up and over your ear, and then back to the sky. Up and over. Then maybe start inviting in more movement, maybe circling the arm. Maybe sending it under the arm that you're weight bearing. Reaching up. Ooh, a little balancing there. We're going to invite that block into play here again. So finding that the top arm is going to come onto the block. And then invite the other arm onto the block. Stacking left hip over the knee. Right leg extended out to the side if you're on the same side as me. Reaching the left arm up to the sky. Tipping toward that extended leg. Breathing here. Softer. Smoother. A little bit longer. Back to center. Open the arms out to a T and turn whatever way you want to turn. Coming back to center. Turning the other way. Good. And then slowly bringing the down to the block, making your way to tabletop. And then finding a child's pose. Knees wide, toes together, sink it back. Breathing softer here, smoother, a little bit longer. Be reminded of your intention, what's going to support you. And when you're ready, making your way to a forward fold. So you might make your way there in any way that best serves you. Maybe it means you want to take a downward facing dog, or simply walking the feet forward to the hands in some other fashion, but there is no rush to get there. Take your time. Eventually, meeting with bent knees and letting the front side of your body rest on your thighs. Top of your head is reaching toward the floor here. The arms kind of dangling, or they could be on your legs, or even you could have your forearms resting on your thighs, letting your head lift a little bit if that full inversion doesn't feel good for your head, for your neck. Then when you're ready, root down through your heels and rise all the way up to standing. Okay. Take the feet a little bit wide today, just a little bit. Should feel stable here wherever you choose to be. And then sweep your arms up toward the ceiling. Take a hold of one wrist. Good. Now tip toward the opposite direction. Good. Inhale back to center. Switch hands and tip the other way. Once more to center, switching and tipping. Back to center. Tip the other way. Good. Back to center. Bring the hands to the heart. Now heel to toe the feet even wider and let your toes turn out a little bit more than your heels. Your knees are going to turn open too. So from your hands to the hips, and think of your tailbone really heavy and sinking downward versus back and out. So you're sinking down, bending the knees, breathing here. You might even heel to a little wider into a goddess pose here. Good. Hands can stay at the hips or finding those cactus arms again. Breathing here. On an inhale, reach for the sky. Straighten the legs and the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, sinking down. Inhales, reach. Exhales. Reaching up. Exhale, sinking in. Good. Pausing here. Lift one heel, whichever heel you want to lift first. Lowering it down. Then the opposite. Gently lower. One more time each side. You've got this. Other side. Good. Can you sink a little lower? Breathe. Now reach for the sky. Bring your hands to your hips and heel toe your feet back in. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive all the way down to your toes. Bend your knees, folding in half. Inhale, slide your hands up the fronts of your legs until your arms straighten. Look forward. Exhale, fold again. And this time you choose. You could round up to the sky, or you can take a flat back all the way up. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good, reach the hands up. Step the feet a little wider. Hold one wrist, tip to the opposite side. Inhale, center. Hold the other wrist, tipping. Away from the wrist you're holding. Back to center. Let go. Dive down. Yes, a little bit wider foot stance here. That's all right. Inhale. Halfway lifting. Sliding the hands up the legs. Look forward. Exhale. Fold back down. Round up when you're ready. Or flat back all the way to the top. Reaching out and up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Heel toe the feet wide again. Toes out, heels in. Hands can stay at the heart this time or come to the hips. Sink it on down. Think of slightly tucking that tail, sending the tail toward the earth here. And notice if your knees want to tip inward, reach to the pinky edges of your feet. Breathe. Notice where your feet connect here. Good. Reach the arms open to a T. Bend the elbows, hands toward the sky. Exhale, bring both arms towards the center in front of you. Inhales open. Exhale, center in front of you. Inhales open. Once more. Opening, straightening the arms, straightening the legs. Hands to the hips, toes align with the heels, and then heel toe them in. Alright, we're going to make our way down to the mat. Sweeping up, gaze follows. Dive on down with an exhale. Halfway lift because we can. And then this time bend your knees enough to plant the hands. And come back to tabletop. Hands and knees, knees wide, toes kiss. Find a child's pose. Time to slow it down. Alright, now from your child's pose, take your right arm and thread it underneath your left arm and turn onto your cheek to look toward the left. Now your right shoulder may or may not touch the floor here. It's okay. This is called thread the needle. Breathe here. If you want, your left hand could come under your head, supporting you. Breathing here. A little softer, smoother, a little bit longer. And slowly unwinding back to center. We'll switch sides, sending the left arm this time underneath the right arm, turning to look toward the arm. And you could slide your right arm underneath of your head if you wish. And slowly unwinding, finding your child's pose once again. And make our way to our backs now. Maybe you take a couple of cats and cows on your way. And you can bring your blanket in for under your head here. Getting ready for our final resting. Before you move into that, you can choose to take another pose or two if you want. Maybe just knees to chest, or maybe if happy baby is something you like to do, or maybe there's something else. Maybe you know you need a little stillness and you want to head right into your final resting, finding a comfortable place to lay down and stretch out, or to curl up. Maybe a bound angle, bringing the bottoms of the feet together and letting the knees tip open. Find a place to be, to rest and receive, or take a pause in your day. There's so much busyness. Slow down. Be here. Gently now. Begin to meet and greet the day in whatever manner best serves you. Maybe take a stretch like you're just waking up in the morning, or maybe swiggling the toes and the fingers, or turning the head from side to side, or curling up on your side if you like. Use the next few moments to make your way up to seated. I'll meet you there. Thank you so much for joining Joel and myself today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. And we're so looking forward to doing more of these quick lunchtime sessions with you. So if you have requests for what you would love to see or where you'd like a little support, just let us know. You can leave a comment. Please feel free to share this with friends, with family, and that is one way to support us. Another way is if you have the means for financial contributions. In the description, there's info there for how to share with us financially. Well, thank you so much. We will be back next week. And I think Sunday is a Yoga Nidra Sunday, if I recall that it is. Joel's giving me the yes, it is. So that will be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a little bit of Yoga Nidra, aka Yoga Sleep. And we so look forward to that as well. So have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. We'll see you next time. Take care.